Welcome back. Well, the Democratic FISA memo is out. It denies Republican claims of FBI abuses in the Russia investigation. President Trump took to Twitter on Saturday to address the Democratic memo. Here's what he said. The Democrat memo response on government surveillance abuses is a total political and legal bust. Just confirms all of the terrible things that were done. So illegal. Republican Texas Congressman and House Intelligence Committee member, he's a member of the House Judiciary, John Ratcliffe, also addressed the political ramifications of the memo yesterday, joining me on Sunday Morning Futures.
In the long term, I think dueling memos from Republicans and Democrats about national security issues is not healthy for the national security debate. But, Maria, we ought to be able to, as members of Congress, agree on what is an abuse of the FISA process. And one of the most troubling takeaways here is that you have members of the House Intelligence Committee that apparently, when presented with clear evidence of what is a FISA abuse, don't recognize it. And so that's one of the focuses and takeaways here that I think we need to continue to explore.
Joining me right now is former Special Assistant to President Trump and former Press Secretary to Vice President Mike Pence. Marc Lotter is with me, along with former Chief Strategist for President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, Harris Poll Chairman, Micro Trend Squared author, Stagwell Group President, Mark Penn. Good to see you both.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us. Mark, what's your take on the Democratic FISA rebuttal?
I think it reminds me a lot of the show Seinfeld, much to do about, it's the show about nothing.
Right. So it was, well, they're trying to say that, so the crux of the Republican Nunes memo was that the FBI omitted information to the FISA court, went to the FISA court, did not tell them that Hillary Clinton and the Democrats paid for that dossier. There was no pushback on that, although they did say that there was a footnote at the bottom of it that said, yes, it was from a Politico of some sort.
And that's the thing. They misled the court.
Right, misled is a good word, yeah.
And used basically a political opposition, political dirt, to go to a court and order surveillance on an American citizen for what could be political purposes. That's what we need to find out. And that memo did nothing to refute those claims.
Mark Penn, I think they did that actually 4 times.
Well, look, I think it's a shame there are 2 memos and not 1. The Democratic memo has a few tidbits of interest. It suggests other people may be under surveillance. It suggests some things in the dossier might have been validated. I think overall, though, it doesn't touch the Nunes findings that the dossier was used for this FISA warrant, and they did not tell the court that it was paid for by the Hillary Clinton and the DNC. Those 2 facts are uncontroverted, although it's got some interesting stuff. Why the 2 parties can't get together with a single set of facts is what people really are asking.
And people are upset about it. They want the truth and they want to see accountability. I mean, at this point, this is a storyline going into the midterms, Mark, isn't it? I mean, this and a better economy.
Well, I think people are waiting for the Inspector General's report to clear up all this mess, to have an impartial, unbiased source that really had access to the materials. And I think to the extent Democrats go into the midterms, they're better off focusing on health care, on education, on what are we going to do to keep kids safe in schools than they are about this issue.
They're not doing that, are they? I mean, you've got this resist movement, Mark, and that's basically what the left is all about. I mean, they are going to need a message. Mark's right. What's their message?
And that's what I think 2018 is going to boil down to: results versus resistance.
Yeah, right. That's good.
The Republicans and the president have the results. We're talking about it on the economy, on the war against ISIS and terrorism, and that's a very powerful message to go into. And so far, all we have seen is resistance.
Meanwhile, there's there's pushback within the Democratic Party, isn't there, Mark? I mean, U.S. Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein failed to win party endorsement from California as she seeks her 5th term on Capitol Hill. How significant is this for the party?
Well, I think it's very important that Feinstein come through this, because I think it would be bad for the Democrats if centrist candidates were told don't apply here. I think that would move the Democratic Party even farther to the left and create even more problems. You know, I've long advocated that the center is the place where Democrats have to be. I think this Feinstein move is unfortunate. I think you see a few races like outside of Chicago, Dan Lipinski, where the left is also challenging primaries. I hope they're beaten back, because this party has to be big enough. Look, the Republican Party is no stranger to some fights inside and some primaries itself. You saw what it did in Alabama.
No, absolutely, and I agree with you. I mean, the middle is typically where elections are won. What we have seen is the Democrats lurching to the left with single-payer and socialized medicine, minimum income, distribution by the government. Those are very concerning positions long-term for their electoral status. It's hard to win with those messages.
What are your thoughts going into the midterms?
I think we've got a great record to run on. I'm very encouraged, especially on the Senate side. I think the map is very favorable. The House, it's going to come down to the economy. I think if the economy continues to do well, Republicans are going to be aggressive. I think they're going to point out the raises, the bonuses, the jobs coming back into your community at home, and I think they'll be in a good position. But in many cases, it's just going to come down to the map.
And the president's approval rating has gone up.
Well, it's gone up, but it's at 45. To be in a good place.
One poll says it's at 50.
To be in a good place, he needs to get a few points more. I think you've got to say Democrats have the edge right now in the House. Republicans are still positioned to hold on to the Senate. I think the Republican administration is still underwater here. That basic fact hasn't changed yet, even if the president has done better, even if the economy has done better, and even if he got through his State of the Union with some pretty good approval. He's got a farther bridge to go to get to real swing voters. Democrats are energized. They're ready to come out. You could have a bigger Democratic turnout in these midterms than we have ever seen.
So you think that the House, the Democrats take the House, and Nancy Pelosi becomes the new speaker then?
Whether she becomes the new speaker or not, I think that's going to be a little bit more of an open question. But
who would be the speaker?
Well, I think there may or may not be an open contest. I think that Democrats are looking for some new leadership in the House. I think the Democrats will have to look at that after.
Nancy will never allow it, Mark.
Most likely, if she wants to be speaker, she's got so many votes in California, she is very hard to unseat. But I think there is restlessness.
All right, we will leave it there. Marc Lotter, Mark Penn, great to see you both.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.